Hello ladies. I'm Carla, the founder of the Feminine Energy. I hope you're having a nice day. So today I want to talk about being financially independent, or a woman being financially independent before she enters into a relationship or a marriage. So I believe that the era we are living, we're living nowadays, it's the era of balance. It's the era of finding your balance as a feminine woman, as a feminine empowered woman. Because if we look back at the 50s, women didn't have a choice. They couldn't work. They weren't allowed to work. They'll have to stay at home while their husbands would go to work. So they weren't financially independent. They were financially dependent on their husbands. So, and that led to a lot of issues, a lot of frustrations. So we had the Feminist Movement, which allowed women to have, the right to vote, the right to work, etc. And I think what we noticed is that, so we went from one extreme to the other in a lot of things, which was women weren't allowed to work at all, to women becoming hyper independent, and not being able to receive from a man, or they wanted to do everything themselves, becoming men themselves, so living from masculine traits. So that's what I've been watching, it happened from the last, 50, 60, 70 years has been happening. And I believe now we live in a time where it's time to find a balance. It's time to find an in-between. So, and I believe that we shouldn't go back to the 50s. So women are not financially dependent. They are dependent on a man, etc. I don't believe that's the answer. That's a solution. Because then we'll be back to the same issues again. Because yes, we are not on the 50s anymore, but biology and nature, it's the same, basically. So we would be back to the same issues. But I also don't believe the answer is to become feminist and hyper independent and I don't need a man, and etc., and being emotionally unavailable and closed off and doing everything yourself, getting exhausted. So because those are two extremes, and feminine woman is about balance. It's about the middle, being in the middle. It's about finding your balance. So I believe a woman should be financially independent, should have her own, work or business, whatever. And I'm not talking here about working hard and hustle and becoming exhausted. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding your independence, your financial independence from a feminine way, from your feminine energy, with pleasure, with joy, doing work you like, doing work you love, doing work that is your purpose, that you feel it's your purpose, it's connected to your joy, it's connected to something you love. It's, it's helping others, in some way. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, selling your soul to a job that you don't like just because of the money, or etc., or working hard in the business and not having a life. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding that balance in yourself, doing something you love and being highly compensated for that financially. So, because that's what happens when you do what you love and you focus on your well-being, money will chase you. You're in a mindset of abundance and prosperity. So, and I find that it's so important to find that before you enter into a relationship with a man. And why? Because a feminine woman, yes, she wants a masculine man, and masculine men like to provide. They are in their purpose of providing for their family, for their women, for their children, and not because they are obligated to do so. It's because it's their nature, right? It's because that's how they are. That's how they have been designed or raised, or they do it because they want to. They want to take care of their family, of their women. So a feminine woman, it's a woman who likes to be taken care of. She likes to receive, and she likes to receive the protection and the provision from a masculine man. but not to the point of becoming codependent, right? Because that's what happens when you don't have your own financial independence, and not just financial, but emotional independence as well. Because what happens is when you don't have your financial independence, your emotional, your psychological independence, what will happen is that you will be codependent on the man you enter into a relationship, right? Because a lot of women, they don't want a partner, they don't want a husband, they are not looking for a mature adult healthy relationship. They are looking for a father figure. They're looking for the father they never had, right? And that is a trauma, that is a wound they have. And if they don't heal that wound, they will become codependent in a relationship, right? And the man can be the most amazing man in the world, but she will still be codependent, and there will still be a wound that will come up in many ways in the relationship, right? So if your goal is to have a healthy, mature relationship with the man, then you have to be independent in all levels. And I'm not talking about hyper independence, I'm talking about standing on your own 2 feet, because it's self-respect, right? It's you healing your wounds, healing your trauma, and stand on your own 2 feet in your powerful self, in your empowered self as a feminine woman. Then you can have a relationship with a man as in a relationship of equals, and not equals in the sense of 50-50, we pay everything half. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about equals in the sense of being two grown-ups. It's not one is a mother, the other is a child. Like some men also have that wound and they want a mother, right? They want a mother figure. And some women, they have that wound and they want a father figure. So when you do your work, when you work on yourself, do your inner work, heal your wounds, become independent, you are ready to have a grown-up relationship with a grown-up man, with a man who is looking for a woman, who is looking for a partner. And you are looking for a man, you're looking for a partner. You can have a healthy relationship of equals in the sense of two human beings, right? Because of course you will be in this masculine energy, you will be in your feminine energy. The relationship will have a specific dynamic between masculine and feminine. But in regards to being in a mature relationship, you will be equals, so there will be equal respect. And when you are financially independent, you are respecting yourself, right? You are not just dependent on this man, because as I was saying, you can be the most amazing man in the world, but there will be a wound of codependency, and there will be a wound of people pleasing. And I'm talking about a man who is a good man, but very often what happens is a woman ends up in a relationship with a man who is not a good man, because she's not financially independent. She ends up with a man who is controlling, uses his money to control his woman and other people, or she ends up with a man who is very insecure. He's very insecure. He doesn't have self-esteem. The only thing he has is money, and he thinks that his worth is in his money, and that's all he can give, right? It doesn't have the emotional capability to be in a mature relationship. So that's what happens. So it's very important for you to have your financial independence, to have a mature, healthy relationship, even if you are with a good man who wants to provide for you and wants to pay the bills and wants to pay for things. But you still have your own thing, you still have your own sense of self. You don't lose yourself in a relationship, you don't lose yourself in with that other person. If something happens, you are a grown-up woman, you can stand on your own 2 feet, right? And that's why some people give this advice online. Oh, marry a man who is wealthy so you can start your own business. He provides for you to start your own business. Yes, that can happen, but again, Start your own business now. Start your own business before. Don't wait for the man to finance your business. Although he can help, of course, there's nothing wrong with that. If he wants to provide, if he wants to help you, nothing wrong with that. But if he wants to support you, but start it before. Start it before, because that way you won't feel, because if you are completely financially independent, there can be issues later, and you won't feel like a child. You won't feel like a helpless child with a father, right? No, because that's very toxic and very unhealthy. No, you will feel like a grown-up woman, right? And if something happens in the relationship, something happens, you are on your own 2 feet, right? And that's very important. And even if nothing happens, even if you have a lovely relationship, for many years, but still, it's I'm talking about what's happening in the subconscious level, right? You don't feel like you are dependent, you are codependent, you are not a people pleaser, you're not all of that. You are a grown-up woman, right? Because there is this thing going on online when they're talking about feminine women and masculine men, saying, the masculine leads, the feminine submits and follows, etc. And yes, of course, but it's not like the woman cannot say anything. She cannot make a decision. She cannot tell a preference she has. It's not any of that, right? It's about. Sorry, someone wants to park, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It seems like she was asking something. So yeah, so just to say, don't become totally, financially dependent on a man, or don't wait, which I think it's even worse. It's waiting for a man to save you, because you feel like you are in survival mode or something, and you're struggling, and you want a man to come to save you. Don't wait for a man to save you, right? A man can come to help. A man can come to be the cherry on top, but create your own financial independence. Believe in your power, right? Because if you're waiting for someone to save you, being a man or whatever it is, you're not believing in your own magic. You're not believing in your own power. You need someone else to save you. That's codependency. So you have the power to create your best life, and you have the power to do whatever you want. So create your financial independence, create the best for you, and believe it, that people can appear in your life to help you, right? Not to save you from anything. Have your financial, have your emotional, and have your psychological independence before you enter in the relationship, so you can enter in the relationship with the right foot, right? So let me know, ladies, in the comments if this makes sense. And I will always love to hear from you. And I wish you a very good day.